Welcome to episode 10 of Overtime with Jared P. and Johnny O. I can't believe we're 10 episodes in. We got an exciting show. We're going to go over our NFL power rankings for week number 10 upcoming from week 9, but going into week 10. Our top two or three matchups heading into week 10 for week 10 of the NFL. We're also going to discuss a World Series. That's Johnny's expertise is baseball. And so we'll let him dive into that. And our bet is still alive. We had a bet on the World Series. I'm barely hanging on,
Yeah, they better
and
not come back, man. Jeez.
that'd be shocking. And then the top two NBA storylines thus far, in our opinions. I think you went first last time, and so I'll start with the. Is that right? The top.
I can't remember, but you know what? Let's you start us off, man. Give us what you got.
All right, the NFL power rankings after week 9, going into week 10. All right, there's been a shakeup, and I would definitely say you probably won't see a lot of power rankings like this, at least at the bottom, at least one of the teams. Um, and definitely some people have moved out of the top five for me, including the Baltimore Ravens. I said, see you later. You can't lose to Jameis Winston and the Cleveland Browns. You just can't. They've
Nope.
been one of the worst teams in the NFL. You can't lose to them. I know right now Jameis Winston's an upgrade at quarterback, but that's a bad, bad loss. All right, at number 5, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like to go on trends, and the trend is with Russell Wilson. They're a completely different offensive team.
Huh.
Um, I believe I read a stat that the Pittsburgh Steelers have had 400 yards of offense, I think only 3 times in the last like 3 years, something crazy like that. And Russell Wilson has done it twice, and it's the 2 games he's played in so far. Pickens has to be the happiest man alive with Russell Wilson as their starting quarterback. He's just a better quarterback. I heard somebody say that he has a higher floor but lower ceiling than Justin Fields. I don't agree with that at all. I know Russell Wilson's mid 30s, but he can do everything better except for maybe durability with scrambling at his age. But he does everything better as a quarterback than Justin Fields, and he's been there, done that, played in big games, not scared of the moment. So, what a tremendous pickup in the offseason when people thought he was washed when he left Seattle. And in my opinion, totally mismanaged in Denver.
Oh yeah.
Sean Payton clearly did not like him for whatever reason. And so, what a bargain. They didn't pay $1, I believe, for Russell Wilson in the trade. So, or $1 million contract, something very low, like a trade plus money. But so the Pittsburgh Steelers and that defense will keep them in every single game. And now you have an offense. That's a scary team to play. At number 4, back in the top 5, the Washington Commanders. Yes, it was a Hail Mary play. And at that point in the game, they had a 99.9% analytic chance of losing. But the entire game, their defense looked good for once. Going into midway through the third quarter, Chicago had 38 yards passing. Now they turn it on towards the end of the third quarter, and then also they had one big run by Swift towards the end, but he ended up with over 100 yards, made like a 50 some yard scamper. And then in the fourth quarter they put up some more yards, but still gave up very few yards on offense. Pretty much dominated the whole game except for one or two big plays. And man, if you're not seeing what we're seeing with Daniels, he has them in every single game. He's coming off a rib injury. And that's, to me, I might be forgetting one, the greatest Hail Mary I've ever seen in my life.
It's one
Be-
of the best.
because of the scramble. Now, you might go back to Kyler Murray had one scrambling and throwing against his body a few years back. But the fact that he had scrambled and he went to both sides of the field, he was almost sacked. And it's the way it was tipped. And the guy's just standing right there. And he had dropped an easy pass for a first down in the fourth quarter that kind of let the Bears stay. I can't remember the tight end's name, like their backup tight end. But boom, right there. What an exciting win. And plus at home, how exciting is that? I have them at number 4. At number 3, this is a team that's been wildly inconsistent, but I feel like they're turning it. They've turned the corner with more consistency. They've had some really ugly losses. but your Buffalo Bills, I
Yeah.
have them back in the top five at number three. Um, again, trending in the right direction. Of course, with Josh Allen, that goes without saying. At number two, and I see some people have them at number one. I just can't do it yet. But they've probably had the last 2 weeks, probably the best 2 weeks of any team in the NFL recently. Detroit Lions. I think averaging over 40 points per game the last 2 weeks of the season. And they've looked good. Outside of maybe one game, they've looked really, really good. Jared Goff, they have a two-headed monster. They have the best uh, two-way, two-headed monster in the NFL with their running attack, and they're just not there yet. You can't supplant a team that's undefeated, in my opinion, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs, who pretty easy win. The score at the end was a little bit closer than if you didn't watch the game. Like, oh, really? But a dominant win, and this is still without a full complement of wide receivers. Although a big pickup in free agency for them, but obviously not gelling yet. Offensive plus, is not at he's coming off his peak. He's not even close to his peak at wideout. So yeah, that's my top five: Pittsburgh, the Steelers, Commanders, Bills, Lions, and Chiefs.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for letting me put my 2 cents in here. I just would like to be perfectly clear on all this. And I'm not sure if you know, but I'm from North Syracuse, and I was, born in a middle income family.
Yeah.
And wait a minute, I'm sorry. All that stuff is just going through my head, man.
There's too many. There's too
We got to
many.
get rid. This stuff needs to end, man. We need to talk more sports and get rid of this politic crap. Holy
Well,
cow, driving me
luckily
nuts.
we're under a week. Yeah, the middle class family. We're all from a
Middle
middle class
class
family,
family,
aren't
yeah.
we?
All right, a couple things. I had two teams drop out: the Vikings and the Ravens, gone out of the top five. Like you said, the Ravens, you can't lose to Cleveland. I'm a Jameis Winston fan, famous Jameis. I liked him when he was at Florida State, and I was really happy for him. He's been through some tough times in the NFL, but
Yes.
every once in a while he'll come up with a great game, and boy, he had a great game. So I was really happy for them. But the Vikings and Ravens are out. But I'm pulling a Johnny O here. My number 5 is the tie, and it's the Commanders and the Eagles. I had to sneak my Eagles back in, and I know you're a Commanders fan, but those two teams are, man, it's hard to leave one out and put one in. What's the Commanders are 6-2, we're 5, and the Eagles are 5-2. Jaden and Jalen are lighting it up. The Commanders look great. That Hail Mary pass was absolutely incredible. And like you said, man, it was the scramble. I mean, he went from one side to the next. It was beautiful. And I'm rooting for the Commanders, and I shouldn't be because I'm an Eagle fan. But back to the Eagles. That's why I had to sneak them in there with, their last two games, they have actually looked like the Philadelphia Eagles. They beat the Giants. I know that's not a big deal, but 28-3, that's a 25-point win. And then they come back and go to Cincinnati, who is probably the best. I don't even know what their record is now. What are they? 2-4 or 3-5?
Yeah, they might be 1-6 or 2-5. I don't know.
That's a good team.
They are. That's the best bad team in NFL.
Absolutely. And, we go in there and win by 20, 37-17. So the Eagles, I'm thinking, are back. Okay. I'm not totally, I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm hoping anyway. So I got those two. Go ahead.
I agree. No, I agree with you. I agree with you, and I shouldn't be pulling for them. But it was like the whole media just turned on them so fast, and like
Yeah.
Sirianni needs to be fired. And it's like, are you serious? Real quick, back to the Commanders thing. I meant to mention this. We were watching that. My kids came in my room. It was towards the end of the game. I was happy to watch it in my room instead of out here in the living room. But and when they scored with 25 seconds to go, the Bears, my son's like, well, I said, dude, it's over. We can turn it off. They're like, no, it's not over. I said, we have no timeouts or one timeout. And then they kick the ball off, and the idiot doesn't do a touchback, doesn't call for a touchback.
Yeah.
He runs it out, so they get down to 19 seconds at the 20-yard line instead of the 30 if he would just taken a touchback. I say, it's definitely over. My son's like, no, it's not over. And I'm like, he's a Chiefs fan, so it's never over with them. It doesn't matter how much time's on the clock, they always come
Yeah.
back. I said, we're not the Chiefs. And then sure enough, I wish I had a video of the reaction of our whole family, including my daughter, who's not a huge sports fan. She was telling me
Yeah.
about something in theater. I said, hold on, let's watch this last play. We were going
I
nuts.
could
What a
imagine.
great end. Sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
interrupt, but
No,
yeah, it's a fun
it
memory though.
it's worth talking about. Absolutely. All right, so those two are tied for 5. My number 4 team is the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love playing fantastic football. You know, he got injured the first game of the year. Now he's nursing another injury, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens. I think he's playing this Sunday, but I got Green Bay. They're at 6-2, and they're in that tough division. So I got them at the number 4 spot. I'm the same with my number 3 as you are, the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
They're consistently inconsistent, if that makes
Right.
sense.
It
But
does.
Josh Allen continues to shine. Not a lot of turnovers. They're going to be there at the end, and I think in our top 5 for the rest of the season, they're going to stay in that top 5 somewhere. And you know, who knows? They might move up to number 1 or drop to 5, but they're going to be in there. I like them a lot. And number 2, you know, I'm the same with you. Number 2 and number 1, Detroit. I mean, it would be so easy to put them at number 1 because they're so good and Jared is so good. But I'm keeping them at number 2 because upcoming game this Sunday, Lions versus Packers in Green Bay.
Yeah.
In Green Bay. So if the Lions go into Green Bay and take care of business, and KC kind of flutters a little bit, even if they go, what are they, 8-0 now, or
They're 7-0 now. They'll
7-0?
be yeah.
There might be just some discussion to number 1 for Detroit, but right now they're number 2. KC still the cream of the crop, 7-0, like you're saying, playing good, solid football. Mahomes looked a lot better. He put up some little better numbers, you know, and you knew that was coming. So I got a feeling that that's going to continue. And as long as their defense, you know, stifles teams like they've been, they'll probably stick right with that number 1. But boy, I love those top 2 teams, KC and Detroit. So that's my top.
That'd be a great Super Bowl.
Yeah, it would. Very good.
Yeah.
So
All right. I actually respect your top 5. Green Bay is Green Bay's really only 2 losses, but had something with Jordan Love. I mean, I guess he got hurt in this last game, and Malik Willis did well filling in, but they definitely lost one game because he was out, and then they lost, I think, the game he got hurt in. So I wonder what their record would be if he hadn't been hurt at all. But it's the NFL. All right.
but let me
Yeah, go ahead.
interrupt. You know, the Eagles are 5-2. They are that one play that Saquon dropped that pass.
Oh, true.
From being 6-1. So that's why I had to slip them back into that, you know, a tie for the 5 spot. So that was a big reason.
If you were a real man, you would just select 1 for 5. Just be a man. Pick one. Commanders or Eagles.
I rather, you know, this is me. I don't care. This is me.
All right.
But I'm trying to give you a little credit. I mean, the Commanders, they're exciting me too. So on Sundays, I don't think me and Kim didn't get as excited as your family, but I jumped out of my chair when that happened.
That was an exciting play for sure. All right, let's go on to what we think are top 2 or 3 matchups for this upcoming week 10 in the NFL. Johnny O. But before you do that, we want to thank our title sponsor, Tee It Up Indoors, 120,000 plus simulated golf courses to choose from. Rain or shine, getting that time of year where it's cold outside, and golf courses will be closed. You didn't worry about that. Go to Tee It Up Indoors in Greensboro.
Yeah. A little more about that's Davis Troxler. He's the owner over there. He's got leagues going on right now as well. I'm not sure if you can still join a league, but I would call them if you can at 336-285-7823 to see if you can get in one of his leagues. They are really very popular, obviously, starting now all the way until February and March during the not so good weather months. But yeah, tee it up, indoor golf on Battleground.
Yeah, and then we also have Surf Hippie Fishing. That's all your fishing apparel, equipment. They do tournaments, fishing rods, fishing rod holders, or fishing rod holders, I should say. All this like really cool stuff. They do a great job. Actually, I have one of their hats in the other room. And when you bore me next time, Johnny, I'm going to run out and grab it. No, but I'm gonna grab it here in a minute. It's a cool hat. I got one for you too, by the way. I
Well,
sneaked it
where
from.
is it? Come
I know.
on.
I gotta. We never see each other in person, but
That's
surfhippiefishing.com. Elite Performance Chiropractic. They have two great locations. Jeremy Phillips, former NFL player, he owns that. He's also the chiropractor there, and he's back in full force, which is exciting. 336 Realty for all your real estate needs. 336realty.com. Ryan Carney's the owner and operator and agent there. He's great. I've used him for buying and selling several different homes. But yeah, we're very fortunate with our sponsors.
Yep, and we got Imperial Marketing Solutions. My man Jimmy Snow up in New York. If you need a laptop that is basically brand new for half the price, give him a call at 315-345-8349. His company's called Imperial Marketing Solutions. And another buddy here in Greensboro, my friend Brian Demore at Estate Jewelry and Loan. If you need to sell jewelry, diamonds, watches, or coins, he's the guy to go to. He's going to give you top dollar. Just go to his website at estatejewelryloan.com, estatejewelryloan.com.
All right. So the top three NFL matchups, in your opinion, for Week 10.
Well, I'm going to give you the one. That Lions versus Packers game is going to be, I think, a big part of what's going to go on in the NFC. So, especially because it's in Green Bay. If it was in Detroit, I think it would be a no-brainer. The Lions are going to win this and that. But I think the Packers are going to give just because it's that divisional game. Lions, Packers. I'm still going to pick the Lions, but I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. I think it's going to be in that 32-25, 32-28 range for a victory for Detroit.
Okay.
As long as they stay healthy and that score also is, if Jordan Love is okay, that'll be a close game. If they have to go with the backup, maybe not so.
Right. I agree with that.
I only had the one. Again, I'm unprepared. I don't remember
No.
putting down the top three, but you came up with that in your head.
Okay. I just thought, we kind of do top two, top three. All right. That's your number
That's
one.
all right.
The good news is I didn't have those in any of my three matchups, so that's good. And all right, so I would say Lions versus Texans. Texans are a team that I think are sneaky good.
Oh
Uh,
wait, what are we talking about? NFL or college?
NFL.
All right, you just said the Lions and who?
Texans.
Oh, Texans.
You thought I said
But the
Texas?
but the Lions are playing the Packers.
Oh, did I do the wrong week?
You may have.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, now I'm worried that I have the wrong one. Do Steelers and Commanders play this week? Did I skip to the wrong week? I did, didn't I?
I don't know. You know what? It happens. It happens. Let's go
It
on to our
happens.
next episode, next
All right.
little segment.
Yeah, because you said Lions and Packers. I was like, wait a minute, they play this week? Okay, that's
Maybe
my
I'm
fault.
wrong, but I don't.
No,
I'm
I
not
don't think you're
usually
right.
wrong.
I think I skipped ahead 1 week.
That's
How did I
fine.
do that?
That's fine.
Yeah, I did because you're right. The Houston's Texans played the Jets, and
Oh
I do
yeah,
not.
Thursday night. That's
Yeah,
a
Thursday night,
game.
and
Yeah.
I don't have that as a top game.
No.
Oh yeah. I skipped ahead 1 week. That's my fault. Well, in that case, let me just scroll. I can do impromptu. That's what I do on radio. Let's see.
All right.
I'm going to pick one just for fun. Let's see. Dolphins, Bills, no. Commanders, Giants, no. Chargers, Browns, no. Patriots, Titans, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
A lot of
Cowboys,
crap
Falcons,
games.
ugh.
A lot of crap games.
This is a bad week. Jaguars, Eagles, even worse. Raiders, Bengals, no. Colts, Vikings, no. Rams, Seahawks, no. Man, it is a bad week.
Maybe the Rams, Seahawks, that's a divisional game, and I think they're both 4-4, so that could be a good game.
All right, I have a trap game. Buccaneers and Chiefs. The
Yeah,
Buccaneers are 4-4. And one week they look like they could win the Super Bowl. The next week they look like they shouldn't be. They're not going to make the playoffs.
yeah.
So I'll say Bucks Chiefs. Yeah, I did skip ahead a week. Hey, for the 2 weeks from now, I have Lions, Texans, Steelers, Commanders, Broncos, Chiefs. If you want that.
We'll put
All right.
that on hold. That's gonna be good.
All right, let's do this. This is a combo for the first time ever. We have our back breaking play or game of the week, play of the week, and that's by sponsored by Elite Performance Chiropractic and owner Jeremy Phillips. And they also have our catch of the week by Surf Hippie Fishing, surfhippiefishing.com. And it's the same play. Jaden Daniels Hail Mary is the back breaking play of the week for against Chicago Bears. And then the catch of the week is the guy, and I'm forget his name, that caught. He says how little he's targeted with the Commanders, who caught that incredible 48-yard Hail Mary. So both it's a combo deal because there's not a better catch and there's not a better back-breaking play. It's all in one. That's
They'll be
very unusual.
they'll be showing that play for years to come, man. That was huge.
All right, let's end with the World Series here in a minute. I want you to cover that and any also October things you want to talk about, as you call it, Sportstober, which is so perfect. Um, Storylines in the NBA. So
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Mine might seem weird to you. It's not about any play necessarily or how people are playing or records or projections. I think the media, for the most part, has done a cover job for Bronny James. They're like, oh, how historic, and two people on the same team. I mean, you might have some sports broadcasters, radio guys, maybe some of the talking heads kind of might say, oh, I don't know about this, but Bronny James, and it's not his fault. It's not his fault. This is LeBron's doing, forcing this to happen. He wanted to make sure they played on the same team, and I kind of get it. But you have the kid leave a year early. Leave after his first year. He's not ready. He's not good enough to be an NBA player. He's not good enough to be on anybody's roster in the NBA, and I think even a borderline G League player, to be honest. But nepotism, which usually does not happen in sports, is such a meritocracy where it's like you have to perform or you're not going to play, you're not going to win. If you're an organization that wants to win, you got to be serious about this. And I know being pick number 58, that might not be life changing, but also there's a player out there that was good enough to be drafted that wasn't because Bronny James got drafted. Well, I just saw it was reported that I think he's traveling with the team now, but he's going to be relegated to the G League. And
Yep.
so JJ Redick, it shows he's serious as a coach. That's got to be pretty tough. But he's like, he's not good enough. And it's not, and I'm not hating on him at all. If my dad was LeBron James, and he's obviously an athletic, he has NBA athleticism to a certain degree, but skill wise, he doesn't deserve it. He didn't earn it. It was given to him, and shame on LeBron James for forcing that to happen. It's just, to me, it's gross. I mean, it's just like anytime you work somewhere, and if there's somebody, or whatever situation, and nepotism is involved, no one likes that. You see that in Hollywood a lot, where it's like, oh, who's this? Oh, this is a blockbuster movie, and this is Matthew McConaughey's son who's never acted before, and he's one of the actors or whatever. Happens all the time in that environment, but in sports is not supposed to be about nepotism. It's supposed to be about the best playing the best, and so the media is now not covering as much for Bronny, and he's going to be relegated to the G League. And then my second one is has to do with a retired NBA player, the most egregious, and Johnny, you did a video about it, the most egregious statue ever sculpted in the history of the world, Dwayne Wade's statue. What were they thinking? How they see the end result are like, we're going to present this, and those things aren't cheap, by the way. Those things are
Oh, it
very
can't be.
expensive, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to construct one of those statues, custom made. It doesn't look like him at all. Somebody said it looks like, if you remember the Rocky movies, you had Mickey, but you also had the African American cut man.
Yes.
There's a
No.
scene from Rocky 4 where he's yelling like, ah, it looks, and they put him side by side. That's somewhat closer, and that guy was like in his 60s at the time in that movie. And so that's just terrible. I'd be ashamed if I was that sculptor If this was in medieval times, I'd have his hands cut off. I mean, it is the worst thing I've ever seen. And Dwayne Wade seems to have a good attitude about it, but it's just they got to redo that, or at least redo the head. I mean, it's just really bad.
Number one, I'll give Dwayne Wade credit because he didn't make it a big deal. Okay,
Right.
and that's what kind of classy guy he is. He was always like that, and he still is. And but so when this guy got done with the statue, here's my question. My God. So he said, come on in, guys. You got to see this. Let me know what you think. And there must have been a committee of people to come in and look and see how it was done and this and that. And did they all just look up and say, you got it?
You
No,
nailed it.
you nailed it, man. They had to have said something. And maybe they said, you know what, the face is a little off, but let's see if we can get away with it. There had to have been. It is not even close
No, it's
to
bad.
Dwayne Wade. Oh my
It's
God.
it's awful. Now, someone did remind me. They sent me a picture because we were talking about it, and sent me a picture of Ronaldo. Ronaldo's statue is pretty bad.
Yeah.
His eyes are like, I mean, like his eyes are like here, and when they
Yeah.
did the statue, they're almost touching. But Dwayne Wade has he has the goat of the greatest of all time bad statues. They got to redo it. They have to redo it.
But you look at Kareem's in LA, you look at Kobe's, Magic Johnson's,
Michael
um,
Jordan's.
you know, they're all they're perfect. I
Yeah,
mean, there wasn't even a question. So, who did they hire for this? Oh, it's not good, man.
it's really
It's not.
bad. So those are my top two NBA storylines right now. That's making the most news for me, at least.
That's good stuff, and that's good news, and that's the first week of the season. Those are the kind of things that we need to talk about, and the whole Bronny thing. I'm a LeBron James fan. Okay,
Ugh.
he's been in the league 22 years. Yes, does his son is he ready for the NBA? No, of course not. But you know what? You do it for LeBron. You do it in LA for the first week of the season. It's an 82 game season. Let's do this. Let's get it over with, and let's bring him to the G League. And now for the next 2 or 3, I mean, the kid does have talent. Do not say he doesn't have talent. He's
No, I
got.
agree.
So the next 2 or 3 years, he's been, especially the last couple few months, he's been practicing against serious NBA players. He's going to be practicing and playing with potential NBA players. It's going to make him better. So, I don't even know how old is he? Maybe 20, 19, 20 years old. Give him a chance. And, they're dropping him down. They're doing the right thing. So, I think it was kind of a cool thing, especially because it was at the beginning of the season. Who gives a crap? I mean, the first, when you're playing 82 games, LeBron got his thing. I mean, the guy is, I know you're against my man LeBron, but he has given 22 years of his life to the NBA. It wasn't that big a deal. I kind of like it, and I enjoyed it. And when they stepped, if he would have hit that three, when LeBron dropped that pass to him, and it was a good shot, but it just didn't go in, that would have been special, but it didn't. So,
Well, I mean,
so
it's just another reason Michael Jordan's the GOAT. He had two sons that played college basketball, and he didn't try to force one of them, like, oh, we're going to make sure Chicago drafts them or the Wizards or whatever, draft them so that I can play with them. He looked at me, he's like, they're not good enough. But it's just a different culture we live in now where it's just like, oh, it's a feel good story. Let's have this guy who's not probably one of the best 100 college basketball players coming out or in the world. And then,
right.
the NBA draft, they draft 60. He's probably not the top 100, and it just stinks of nepotism and unfairness. That's all, and it's
All right.
something, and that's LeBron. So I know that's your boy. That's LeBron, in my opinion.
It's a different world, and Michael wasn't maybe he wasn't a big family man, but we won't go there because we don't know. So that's all I got
I
to say.
mean, he did get divorced, but and I think one of his sons was dating Scottie Pippen's uh, ex-wife.
Yes, yes.
So like he obviously is trying to keep things in the Chicago Bulls family. I mean, I think it's wonderful. Very loyal, obviously. Do you have
Anyway,
anything you wanted to add to that?
yeah, just a couple things. As far as just regular NBA talk, Boston looks like they're going to have another great year, but Tatum and Brown, two, special players. But I don't know about you, but I find Boston. I went to my son and I went to the Hornet Boston games last year because I kind of figured that they were going to win the championship last year. They were built to win the championship. So I said, hey, we got to go, see that game. They're boring. The Boston
They are
Celtics,
boring.
very boring. Oh, all season long. I don't, I'm not a big Jason Tatum fan, but, Brown is pretty good. I mean, but they're still just a boring team to watch. And I don't really tune into them on TNT or anything like that. And just the other things, Lakers are starting off pretty good. I'm a Laker fan. That old guy, that LeBron guy, is still, probably the top 4 players in the world at 22 years in the NBA of grinding. But one thing that I do look at, the Dallas Mavericks with Doncic, who I love as a player. I don't know, but you like him?
I love him.
Yep, love him. Kyrie, not a big fan of Kyrie Irving, but a huge fan of his talent. Maybe one of the most talented basketball players ever to live as far as just pure talent.
I hate to agree with you, but you're right. Yeah.
Yep. And then you add Klay Thompson, who I've always loved. That threesome is going to be something else. I bet you they'll have some game during the season where they might score like 180 points or something, when all 3 of them are going off. So that should be fun to watch. I'm a big NBA guy. I love great talent like that. I'm a college basketball, fanatic, but, it's been a little off lately. And the NBA, I just love watching pure talent. So we'll be talking a little NBA every once in a while on the show for sure. But that's Absolutely. What I got.
That's good stuff. And then we'll end with the World Series. We had a bet. You took the Dodgers and I took the Yankees, although I freaking hate the Yankees, but I took the Yankees. All right. And they were 1 game away from being swept. But what is your take on the World Series so far?
Well, the postseason has been absolutely electrifying, man. I mean, it really has. A lot of good things have been happening. My take is, the Dodgers are hopefully going to end up winning this thing. But I tell you, I'm a Boston Red Sox fan, and Boston came back when they were down 3-0, 20 years ago, and it can happen. But I hope it doesn't because I'm not a Yankee guy. But this Freddie Freeman story is just Jared, the man, has hit. He played for the Atlanta Braves a few years ago in the World Series. His last 2 games in the World Series for Atlanta, he had a home run in each of those 2 games. And now the first 4 games of this World Series, 6 straight World Series games, home runs. Unheard of, my friend. I mean, you get back, if you hit 2 home runs during the season on a Wednesday and a Thursday, it's like, oh my God, this guy's unbelievable. He has done it 6 straight games. With his son has a rare disease over the past 3 or 4 months that they thought he was going to be paralyzed for the rest of his life. But the good news is, I watched the story last night. He's going to have full recovery, which is fantastic. Freddie lost his mother 20 years ago. I mean, his whole background and baseball story and where he's gotten and the relationship between him and his father and all that has just been fantastic. So all the Dodgers have to do now, he could strike out for the next, strike out 4 times tonight. But if they win the World Series, he had the MVP locked up in Game 2. So I can't wait for him to raise that MVP trophy. But down 3-1, the Yankees, they're not going to go out quietly. I hope it ends tonight because if it gets to 3-2, it's going to be tough. But they do go back to LA for the last 2. Shohei Ohtani is injured, so we're not seeing the best of Shohei Ohtani, which is a little disappointing. I don't know if you've watched any of the games. His shoulder, I mean, he's got to run with his hand here. It's just, he shouldn't even be playing, but it's the World Series, so you got to he's a gamer. He's out there trying to play. And a cool thing, and again, I'm not a Yankee guy, but their shortstop, Anthony Volpe, he's Italian, so I thought it would be pronounced Volpe or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he is 23 or 24 years old. The last time the Yankees were in the World Series in 2009, he was there as a 10-year-old kid. He's got a picture of, he's been with a Yankee hat on. He's been a Yankee fan his entire life. Now he's playing shortstop where Derek Jeter used to play for. And he's hitting a grand slam last night to really put the Yankees over the top to win that, keep away from getting swept away by the Dodgers. So that's a really cool story. There's all kinds of great stories. And, Aaron Judge not playing very well, but he started hitting the ball a little bit last night. So look out for that, because baseball is a game of streaks. And, he could hit 2 home runs tonight and forget about all those strikeouts he's had over the past couple weeks. So who knows what's going to happen. And one more thing, they paid $324 million for Garrett Cole, who's one of the most miserable looking guys I've ever seen in my life. $324 million, and he's miserable. He just looks miserable. I guess he's focused, but he's on the bump. He's on the mound for them tonight, and that's why they paid him this money. So to make my night tonight would be to see him get beat and the Dodgers celebrate in Yankee Stadium and him getting the loss. It would be a wonderful thing. That's all I got to say about the World Series.
No, it's great. And so is should they take Mr. October title away from Reggie Jackson and give it to Freddie Freeman?
No, I don't think so.
That. It's already been branded. Now that it's been pushed, with the extra with wild card and everything, maybe it could be Mr. October / But yeah, it's amazing. What a streak! What a streak!
Absolutely.
All right, I want to thank our sponsors one more time. Our title sponsor, Teed Up Indoors, 120,000 different indoor courses to choose from. We have 336 Realty, 336realty.com for all your real estate needs. Ryan Carney is great. Elite Performance Chiropractic, 2 locations, Greensboro and Winston-Salem. And Jeremy Phillips is the owner and chiropractor there, and he can obviously get you right. Surf Hippie Fishing, surfhippiefishing.com for apparel, for your fishing gear. Like, they have everything, tournaments, all stuff you need. Great website, surfhippiefishing.com. And then, Johnny, you got a couple more?
You got the Imperial Marketing Solutions that have been with us for a while now. Jimmy Snow up in New York. If you need a laptop, especially with Christmas coming up, he's the guy to call. He's up in New York, 315-345-8349. And he did want me to mention, Jimmy Snow is a Commanders fan. He keeps saying Redskins when he texts me, but he's a Commanders fan. And he goes, you got to mention that I'm a Commanders fan because you guys are doing so well. So there's his little mention there.
And I like his name, too. He has a great name, and his nickname's the Snowman.
Snowman.
The Commanders will take the Snowman as a fan, no problem.
And then Estate Jewelry and Loan, my friend Brian Demore. You can go to his website at estatejewelryloan.com, estatejewelryloan.com. If you want to sell jewelry, diamonds, watches, or coins, he's the man to go to.
All right. Great job, Johnny. You were better than me this week. I can admit it. I had the wrong week of the NFL. It's okay. Until next time.
All right, buddy. See ya.
See ya.